all for joining. What we'll do is quickly go over who have joined and who's showing their love to us. A lot of people. Good to see you, Rajia Ilango. Long time. Make pretty spaces. Thank you for joining. Do all you love. Thank you for joining.
Deepika is asking if join. Deepika just sent a message.
Yes, can you just check with Deepika?
Yeah.
Moksha has joined.
Hi, Moksha.
And it's actually moving too fast. So if I'm missing names, don't think that I'm not seeing it. It's just that it's moving too fast. We've got Pallavi's Delicious Streets, Purani Muthu. We've got My Home is Where My Heart Is. Thank you, Dee, for joining. Suraksha Dee, thank you for joining. So yes, as and when people will join, we'll definitely, kind of meet and greet them. So today's discussion is more of a candid discussion with two women entrepreneur, and I would rather ask them to introduce themselves. But before that, I'm just joining for my co-partner Deepika, so that she's also there and she'll kind of jot down the questions. And we are all yours today. We'll discuss about small business, the challenges, the good things, the learnings on Instagram. We recently, in the month of January, we did a giveaway with Parul and Avnika, and it was an amazing experience that we had. Everybody kind of loved it, and it was completely effort based. So we keep on running the giveaways and we keep on collaborating. If you have any questions regarding that, I'm asking this for the audience. You can also ask us, because we are all new on Instagram, and we'll be happy to share our experiences with you. Can somebody check with Deepika as well? I think I sent her the request. Yeah.
In, but I can't see her video. She's there on the live, but I can't see her video. I think she'll have to probably send a request, right? Deepika, if you want.
I have already sent her the request again. I'm just waiting for her to accept. Hi, Decorating My Casa. We've got Neha. We've got Lalit. So all are actually excited to hear about your journey. And it's already Friday. So what are your Friday plans? Let me ask you guys first. Parul. Are you all set for the weekend? Parul, you can tell me about your Friday plan. What are you planning to do?
Yeah, well, I need to get myself motivated again and get into my studio. I've been taking a couple of days off, but yeah, no, I think just prep for the Holi a little bit and get into my pajamas and start painting again. I think that's my plan after many, many weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think break is definitely needed, and having your own studio and catering to your own passion is also definitely a great thing to do.
It is a blessing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's so wonderful to kind of pursue what you like and what you enjoy doing.
Yes, I think that's
so the quieter one, the next question goes to you. Shall we start with the introduction or yeah, so let's start with the introduction. First, you can talk about your Insta handle and then about your about yourself.
So hi everyone, I'm Avnika and my Insta handle is prettylittlethings.24. And the idea behind the name is obviously showing my customers, my audience, and everyone who loves art something pretty every day. That's why I decided to name it Pretty Little Things. And I'm just generally very drawn to creativity and making things myself. I don't like gifting ready-made stuff to people, so whenever it's an occasion, I like it to be handmade and customized especially for them. So I decided to go ahead and start this. I am a computer engineer by qualification, but I never did anything related to that. As most engineers, I think, they've gone on to do different things, and obviously some of them have also taken up management, and most of them, like my husband, he's a very strict and very diligent and very studious engineer. He still studies. He's also a computer engineer. He did his master's, but I decided to do stuff that pulls me out of bed every morning, excited for something new. I didn't want to do mundane things, and so I decided to start this. I also did a diploma in patisserie, and when I had my son, I realized I wouldn't be able to meet deadlines. So I didn't want to spoil people's occasions by not delivering their cakes on time. So I thought I'll do something non-perishable, and when he's asleep, I have time to create something, and then I can, still spend time with him and do something for myself. So yeah, that's how Pretty Little Things was born after my son was born.
Oh, wow. That's such a wonderful story. You actually, gave birth to two things. I
Yeah,
mean, two,
both,
not
yes,
things rather, but to two, what do you call, two creation of
yeah,
yours.
both are my babies, and both are being nurtured at the same time, and both will grow together. So yeah.
Right. So yeah, the Pretty Little Things, the name itself is very intriguing because we all love handmade and we all like those little cute things in our lives, little joys of our life. So the name is very catchy, and so are your products because I see how you keep on experimenting candle in different form and then soaps and personalizing it, customizing it. It's these are all your brainchild. I mean, how do you come up with like, do you do a lot of research on it, or how does it happen?
Uh, yes, a lot of research, but mostly it's very, very impulsive. My biggest problem in running the business is that I don't have a plan. I am just doing what my heart says on a daily basis. And yeah, somewhere down the line, I will become a little serious. But as of now, it's just, I'm open to everything. I'm open to learning. I'm open to trying. I'm open to experimenting. So there's, anytime there's a situation around me where something's really beautiful, I try to see how I can incorporate that into something that can turn into a personalized gift for someone. So from the beginning, a lot of art forms, and I've done every hobby class under the sun. Little did I know that it'll become my profession someday. But yeah, I'm just generally drawn towards beautiful things. So that's why I'm doing this. And because I'm doing what I love, I don't feel the burden. In spite of having a baby, I'm pretty excited and charged up all the time. So that's
Mm-hmm.
plus point. When you're doing something on your own, don't treat it as a chore, and don't feel sad, don't feel that, oh god, I have so much to do, and how will I manage this and how will I manage that. A lot of people around me, including my mother-in-law, they're quite surprised as to why I thought of this when my baby is so small. But yeah, when they see that I'm able to manage both, they're quite happy with what I'm doing.
Right. I mean, I think it also came very easy for you because you were creative. You had that creative instinct, and it's more of you're doing something which you like and which you enjoy. So it's more to do with that as well. And
So I think always, even if you're doing a 9 to 5 job, there's absolutely no right and wrong in life. It's what suits you. It's what your preference is. Even if you're doing,
Mhm.
I just feel do that with 100% of your heart and mind. Don't ever feel, bogged or pressured by whatever you're doing. Only then you will be able to excel. So, there are times when my son is a little fussy and throwing tantrums, and so I try and manage, but I don't take the pressure. And because I'm doing
Mhm.
non-perishables, that's the biggest advantage, that I don't have to deliver anything on time. There's no deadline. So
Mhm.
I'm just happy
Yeah.
about doing. So yeah, I think that is a very big factor in pushing you every day. You have to love what you're doing.
Right. And also choosing the correct line, as you said, that, line of business, like non-perishable and
Yeah.
perishable. And as you mentioned, not taking the pressure because in today's world, when we are working as well, there's so much of competition, rat race, and, even in Instagram, there's so much of hustle always to be on the top, right? So
Yeah.
so that is something we shouldn't let it go in our head that,
Guys
you have to top the chart always.
joined us. They're doing such a marvelous job on a daily basis because everyone is a homemaker, right? We are all women. We are running our houses. So, taking out time to do what we love and to pursue our passion, I think hats off to everyone. Everyone. I've built so many relationships sending out my products, and so many of them have been so helpful. Priyanka, you've been the first one who was constantly messaging me and checking on me if I had any problems. So thank you so much for that. And also to everyone else, there are so many that I would like to name who, it was just not because I did a collab with them, but I've definitely built a relationship now in spite of not meeting them. So, I mean, obviously,
Right.
to talk and meet, it'll definitely be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the Insta world is great, but obviously, sitting in with a blood and flesh person and having a cup of coffee and having conversation is definitely something which, we all would love to.
Yes.
I think Deepika was facing some issue with her camera. So once she comes back, we'll kind of ask her to introduce herself as well. But before that, let's talk about, we also have Parul, and she is, if you have seen her paintings, it's all original and it's all her brainchild. And I just love the strokes that she does on the paper. And I would be keen to know what are those paintings called, and to know more about her journey and everything. So let's introduce Parul, and she'll be the next one right now.
So, hi Priyanka. First of all, thanks for hosting this. It's my first ever Insta Live, so yay, that's a that's a big milestone. And okay, and it's quite a coincidence that I'm also a computer engineer, Avnika, and with a degree in finance as well. And I did my corporate stint about 22 years, and even now I am a freelance IT person as well as I'm painting. So I've always been painting. That's been my passion forever. But I think at the time when we used to go to college, I think computer engineering was a better career option. So went for that.
I most women
And
end up doing that.
yeah, and I kind of enjoy that as well. So I can't complain because I think creating code is also has been a sort of creation for me as well. But this is something, creating art has always stayed with me. So when I was in hostel, I would just have limited supplies. I'll just do sketches, tons of sketches. And uh, even through my career in US or in India, I've always painted, right? So that is one thing which stayed with me. And there was a time when my kids were younger. I have two grown-up daughters now. But when they were younger,
Okay.
so I completely understand what Avnika is going through, but when they were younger, I somehow would wake up at 4 a.m. and still paint because that was the only time I would get to paint. So it is, I think it's an urge that you have to take care of, otherwise you get very restless. I think that's what, and if you listen to
Yeah.
it, I think that's when you just do what you're doing and it makes you happy. That means you're on the right path. I think that's what I believe. So I'm
Right.
primarily a self-taught artist, which basically means there was no structure to my education, but then I had to do a lot of research, make my own mistakes, and learn through hit and trial. And I primarily work on oils, acrylics, and watercolor. Ideas that I work with are mostly, they either come through my meditation or the things that influence me a lot. So I have a lot of respect for strong women, a lot of respect for people who reinvent themselves. I'm very fascinated with Shiva and his energy and the nature. So I think those are the four main areas where I derive inspiration from. Um, I had a whole series back in 2009, which was about urban living, like how we, in a corporate world, living in urban situations and what kind of emotions or situations we go through. And it used to be called Urban Hues. I still have some paintings left. It's on my website.
Wow.
And yeah, so I think I just go with what inspires me or what is consuming my thought process at any given time. And typically I fill a lot of my sketchbooks with ideas, random ideas, and probably 10% of them end up being on canvas. So that's the fun process.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a whole process to everybody's artwork, and that is mine. Just wanted to share that. And this question came up in the stories that we asked, and that made me think. So that's why that's what made me derive this conclusion that this is how I work. And thanks, people, for asking. Whoever asked that question. So thank you very much. And right now, yeah. So I'm dividing my time between freelancing with an IT project, and I'm really enjoying that. And also working in my studio. One of my kids is in college, so that's great. The second one is still with me. So yeah, it does free up a lot of my time.
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, first of all, looking at you, who would say that you're mommy of two kids and one of them are already in college? So what that is definitely, I think your art and your passion and your creativity is keeping you more young and active, and you look absolutely stunning. So I had to tell this. That I
thank
mean,
you.
you look so pretty and very young to,
Thank
to have
you. Thank you.
a daughter in college. And I could say that because my mom, she looks like my elder sister, because she has those sharp features and everything. And everybody, whenever we still go out, she's able to manage, and she's very active, and she takes a lot of care of her skin and hair and everything. So I really look up to her, and she keeps on giving me tips. But I'm like just opposite, very lazy, and so that is how it is. So
You can content.
hi, hi,
You
Deepika.
definitely.
Hi, Deepika.
Hey, hi everyone.
Hi.
Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are audible, and
Yeah.
we were just going through the quick introduction and the experience and everything. So Parul just shared, and I was just kind of talking to her about what really struck my mind through her conversation. And the other thing I really, which is something I'm going to research and look for as well, because I love art and everything, is what you called the theme urban use, because that is something very, very new to me. I have never, heard of it. And so I'm going to definitely take back and research and see what's that art form all about. And,
So it's on
just
my
very curious
website.
about it.
I finally took the plunge and created my own website back in November, launched it on my birthday, and it's
Mhm.
there on my website as a proper section. I'll send you the link. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
If you can
interesting.
send the link in the comment here, then people
I'll send
actually
you.
can go through and as well check.
Yeah,
So
let me
that'll
do.
be
Yeah,
great.
we all would like to go through and see what new things you are coming up with.
So that's my website. I've just texted and
Mm-hmm.
just browse through it. It'll be great to get the feedback, the genuine feedback, and any inputs on. I think I get a lot of feedback on my Shiva paintings, and when
Mm-hmm.
I meditate on Lord Shiva, and I think that's where it comes
Mm-hmm.
from. A lot of it is my interpretation
Mm-hmm.
of how I think his moods are. So I call that
Mm-hmm.
series Moods of Shiva because I think he's one god who has a lot of contradictions, right? He creates, he
Mm-hmm.
destroys, he's peaceful,
Right.
he's crazy energetic. So I think I like the crazy vibes, and that's what connects with me. I
Right.
hope
So
I'm
those
not
are really
hurting anybody's
great
sentiments.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said nature, meditation, and since you like sketching, so it's like, it's very easy for you to kind of think through and then get it like in on a piece of paper, right? I mean, that's the quality of an artist, that you think and you're able to do that, and
It
you're
has,
able to give a form to
yes,
your thoughts. So
yes,
that
it has
is
been a journey, and that would be my advice to myself as well as to anybody who aspires to be an artist is sketching is something you must always do because first of all, it helps you create better lines, better perspective, so your final work looks better. But also, this is how instant creativity comes out, right? I think just putting it on canvas takes a lot of effort, a lot of preparation, but sketching is easy. So yeah,
yeah.
it's always great to do that.
Right. That's wonderful. So Deepika is here. We'll go with her round of introduction as well. We all know the Green Bliss, but we want to know the Deepika more. So yes, definitely. And then after that, I'll also give a short introduction on me.
Okay, so hi everyone. I am a computer engineer by profession, and
Three of us.
this this account is something which has emerged during the COVID times when I had a lot of bandwidth apart from my job as well as the household things which we do. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I just started it randomly on a day, and I don't have any intention to make so and so followers or to have like number of people following me, and I would be able to provide some kind of guidance to people around me. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
things have been pretty well going, good so far, and the account has evolved till now, and it would
Yes.
definitely keep on evolving. That's what I feel. Um, yeah, that's pretty much about me.
That's great. So we have three computer engineers here. So that's great. I'm an MCOM and an MBA. I think an odd one out because although I always wanted to do literature and study go on the creative line, but and my parents always told me that you should go pursue maybe an MA in English or something of that sort. But that time, I saw my friends. So first it happened that I wanted to take science. My parents told me, no, you're not very, we've seen you can't take science, so you take commerce or you take arts. Then I said, no, I'm not going to take arts because that time, you are still better off doing commerce than arts. And now I think it was so foolish of me to do, choose that. And I belong to a very small town in West Bengal, so we've had very little visibility as well, which course to take up and stuff like that. So I just went with the flow. I did commerce. I worked with American Express for around 14 years. And then I worked with Amazon again as a project manager for a couple of years. Then last year, um, just around COVID, I had a medical thing, so I had to get a surgery done. And then doctor told me that now it's time that you rest a bit. And that's when I thought, okay, let me do something. So I started my own consulting firm as well. And I'm doing my consulting work as a freelancer because that time, you're so used to getting salary, and if you don't get your paycheck, you're really that you get that vibe that, what am I doing with my life? I've spent my entire years just to, because I really did not have anything in my mind rather than work. I was a workaholic to the core, and now I imagine that I have just turned 360-degree altogether. If my old friends meet me, they will be astonished that I've just now I like my this life, where I do where I'm like taking my own time and doing things that I like and take life very easy. But it was not easy at the beginning. It was like it used to hurt me a lot that I'm not getting my monthly salary. I do freelance work, but then it's not as a full-time job. But then Insta thing happened, and I was very naive to Insta. I already had an account on Instagram 9 years back, but I think last year only I kind of started using it. So that's how the journey started. And Instagram gave me a lot of positivity, which really helped me to heal faster. And then I thought, let me try it. And then I started getting good response. And now I don't hesitate to call it my full-time work, although I'm doing the consulting work still. But I'm slowly kind of transitioning. And since I believe in the organic growth and organic gaining, so the growth has been, stable but slow. But I'm kind of believing in that process and not rushing too much on that. So that's about me. So I'm just taking it easy as well, but also aspiring to be a full-time. So it's, there are a lot of emotions in between, if I can put it that way.
No, that's awesome story as well. I think you've been kind of like a computer engineer also without being one because you've always been in a tech company, right?
Yes. So Amex was bank. So in Amex, I did multiple roles. But when I joined Amazon, I was into operations and into team management and project management. So when I actually was, my last 2 years in American Express was more into coding. A finance guy was put into coding, but more from a project management perspective. But then that was the time I learned about Pega, and I was like so into it that I met all the Pega architects, and I wanted to do some courses on Java and crazy stuff going on, for 2 years, because it's all new to me, right? I've just done accounting and all those things so many years, and in corporate you keep on switching roles, and they give you the opportunity based on your capability to do and not always on your degree. So I took whatever came on my plate, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Till the time I was working, I really enjoyed it, and now I'm working with certain small, on certain projects. I'm still enjoying it, but I'm enjoying this Insta time more, is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
It has been really fun. And I met a lot of, I heard so many inspiring stories. I met so many wonderful women who actually with such limited resources are able to make a mark. And that is what is, which actually is very precious to me. So
I would second that. I joined Instagram very late, only last year. And I think my motivation levels have really gone up since I've joined Instagram because I just see so many people doing great stuff. And
right.
I think it's a great platform. I have stopped stressing again about instant growth, I think, which is what everybody thinks initially. But I think organic growth is great because it gives me time to grow as well as an artist. Nobody is perfect, right? And it lets me grow. And I think the growth in Instagram is just a validation of that.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, no, it's great to hear your stories, all of you. I think the common thing is that we're all passionate about what we do, and we have to just do something creative with it.
Yes, absolutely. And so let's quickly run over one learning that you had, or maybe if you want to talk about one challenge that you faced, either which ways, so that, it's also learning for the group. And what we can do is we can also open for questions who are listening to us on the group, so that if they want anything from us, we can also add some value add to their to this conversation. And Deepika, you can make a note or maybe pause and tell us a question if anything is coming. Hi, Monica ji. I'm just going over. Hello to Mindful Expressions.
Hey, Ruchita.
Hi, Jayashree. Hi, Subha. Hi, Brini. Brini is my colleague from, I think, from Amazon. I mean, if because the picture is coming very, I'm not able to see it if I'm right. If it's the same Brini. I think from Amazon. I mean, Hi, Leisurely Creations. The names are coming pretty fast, so if I'm missing anything, please forgive me. Yeah. So hello everyone who has joined. We've got Anshu, we've got Neetu, I think Archana. Okay, perfect. We've got a lot of viewers right now who have joined us. So that's great. And we'll be happy to, kind of, we all can talk about one learning and one challenge that you are facing. And I'm sure it'll be common across, and, we can share our insights and that'll help the group as well. So who wants
So I
to start?
can go first, yeah, quickly.
Mhm.
I think the biggest challenge for me continues to be time management. I think wearing different hats, you have to really block your time every day and stay honest to
Mhm.
that. I think discipline is the most important thing. But with creativity, I think you really can't bind it with time. But still, I think that is one thing that works for me. And one lesson, I don't know, what Instagram has taught me is how to be comfortable in front of the camera. I think that is one thing I would not have done 1 year ago. So thanks to group of lot of wonderful ladies that I'm in touch with. Like Rachita was there, and there were a couple of other names I saw earlier in
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
chat. I think they are my support system, and we keep inspiring each other. And now you guys too. So it's amazing. Gives me a lot of confidence.
Right. Right. So one great thing is we should have friends. And who says that, it's a world of competition and you cannot have friends on Instagram? That's definitely, definitely not right. You need your cocoon, you need your support system wherever you're in the world. So please, guys, give as much as you would like to receive. So
Absolutely.
So
that
true.
is that is one. And time management is I'm very bad with, from day one. So that is still, that has been my constant feedback throughout as a kid. So yeah, I'm still learning and kind of getting through that. Yeah. So
You're
that's
still,
great learning, Chen.
but you're still juggling between two works, right? So I
Right.
think you have managed it well.
Yeah, I think I've made a progress. It has been in my every year during our appraisal. That was one thing that was constantly there. That I'm a person who wants to do a lot of things, and I used to take a lot of project work and everything on my plate. And then my boss used to tell me, okay, we'll all do that one at a time. So that's been a constant learning. So who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I can't really say I'm struggling much, not with the creative part of it, but yes, obviously the marketing and like after I did a few collabs with people, not a few actually, I did quite a lot of collabs. I just realized that people are posting amazing content every other day. So I think that's
Mhm.
something that I struggle with because I'm spending most of my time creating the product and I don't leave enough time for myself to, post. And what happens is all these people putting up pictures of their beautiful houses and my house is in a mess when I'm making stuff. And like, yeah, people is
Oh.
so yeah, that's the biggest challenge. But yeah, I'm not really focusing on any challenge at the moment. I'm just going with the flow and I'm just enjoying myself. I'm basically not taking any pressure. So whether it's getting followers on Instagram or posting on a daily basis, or there are days where I can't do anything because it's just that's the day. I have other priorities, it's about my son. So I just take it as it comes. So I'm not really complaining about anything at the moment. I'm quite happy.
Right. Let me tell you one truth, and I don't know if many would tell it. Everybody thinks, even my neighbors, that my house is well kept all the time. But but it's not the reality. It's only when I mean, we try to keep, like every homemaker, we try to keep it clean and tidy. But ye jo Instagrammable pics, like well decorated, it's mostly during shoots, and then for me, I keep it for 2-3 days unless I do another shoot, because if I put on so much of effort, मेरा घर थोड़ा 2 दिन और सुंदर रह जाए. So that is what I do. But then for me as a as an influencer stylist, what the struggle that I face is to usko fir se sameto and then do everything, but that's a part of job. So when anybody enters, when I'm trying to unwrap everything, so that is the reality. So Instagram is always glorious and beautiful, but real life definitely has behind the scenes, right? So um, that is one thing. Even I used to wonder, but that is something I've learned over the journey, and that is the truth. Ki everybody, has their own way, and it's not how we look all the time on the squares.
That's so true.
Right.
Especially for the
Deepika?
social accounts. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Actually, the video stopped. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm saying that's so true. Like the picture you see on the social platforms and behind the scenes will be totally different.
Right. And I keep on wondering, but I have seen people who've also kind of maintained it and managed it so well.
Yeah.
But I feel that what I feel that it is possible when you really have maybe a studio or a big house where you segregate a portion of your house just for that purpose. And but if you're living in the same thing, because I use my same living room for for other work as well as for my styling. So I kind of I also have a table in my living room for my office work. We also have a dining table there. So uska setup change karna hi padta hai. If I even do a tablescape, I might just keep it for a day and then I'll just take it off and put on the regular things. That's a reality, and I have no problem sharing that. But yes, those tips that we share, definitely when you have guests over or if you want to, just give yourself some me time, feel happy about your creativity, keep on doing it. I mean, that's the best thing. I think that's the best aura that helped me sustain, through the journey. So now it has become a part of habit as well because I consider it as my full-time job, and I've started adapting that. So,
Good. I I
right.
work
So
in
one,
chaos, so I would not even show you my studio.
But we would
right.
love to.
We are
I'll
coming
I
make
mean,
a
your
over.
art
Maybe we are all
pieces
going
are
to,
really something which everyone would like to look. So maybe if you can flaunt some of them, then it would be great for the viewers.
yes, yes.
I'll make a
If
reel
you
of
have
it.
anything to show us, and similarly with Avnika, we've all seen her collabs and
Yeah.
everything, but it's very important to see the face behind the brand as well, and also the products that they've created with their own hand.
Yeah, actually, it's thanks to you that you had this life. Otherwise, honestly, I've been sitting like a potato ever since I gave birth. Not come in front of the camera, not willing to get dressed, just busy creating some stuff behind the camera. So yeah, I'm feeling better today. Looking at myself, I'm like, okay, I've come out of that shell that I was in for the last say 1.5 years. So yeah, it's a good thing. You should dress up a little bit. It makes you feel good.
And that reminds me, you have to tell us
Yeah.
the tip behind your glossy skin.
I
Yeah. Every,
rock star
everyone wants to know that.
because I was like, can you ask me something related to my work? I don't understand.
I know, there are a lot of times that people kind of, there's so many questions, right? I mean, and I think you definitely have a flawless skin and everything. So feel free to share some kind of tips with us. What
Yeah,
you do? Drink
you
a lot of water?
routine. So yeah, ever since I gave birth, there has been no routine. I don't know. I just think I have a slightly oily skin, so that looks like a glow. That's the deceptive part of it. So whatever I use on my skin, after a point of time, it's mixing with the oils of my skin and looking like
Right.
anything special.
Right. Okay, so Parul was showing some of her artwork to us, right?
I have just been working on these minis these days because that's all the time I get. but I'm really enjoying doing that in acrylics. And
Yeah, so just Parul, just don't move them because then the video is coming blurred. Just
sorry.
keep one.
Yeah. Okay.
Ha.
Yeah.
Now.
Wait for us.
So I'll be doing a series of these minis, and I plan to
Mhm.
put it on my website as a separate collection. So that's one thing which is exciting. It's different because typically I do really large pieces. Like that Urban Hue series was like really big pieces, some of them 6 feet by 4 feet. So those I can't
Oh
show.
wow.
Some of them are gone.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, this is another
Mm-hmm.
one which is in progress. It is half done, so you can't. I mean, it's going to evolve.
Right.
It's an African
Wow.
goddess for Oasis. So I just see that's where the inspiration came from. Strong women, crazy high priestesses, goddesses of different things. It's kind of like nature
Right.
love as well, because if you
Yes.
respect nature, you find gods and goddesses in everything that you do, right? And it's more
Right.
of a interpretation. So that's another
Yes.
series I'm working on.
That's really wonderful. So, where exactly is your studio? If people want to come, I mean, do you kind of are you open to that as well right now, or you're doing most of the stuff online?
So in few months I will be, but right now
Mm-hmm.
my studio is at home. Like I said, one kid is in college, so I have her room to
Mm-hmm.
paint. I've borrowed her room. But
Absolutely. I mean
yeah,
that is wonderful,
yeah,
to
and
start
main
something
reason,
from home.
yes, but the main reason is because that doesn't give me any excuse not to work, right? I can
Right.
switch between my meetings for work and my just walking over
Yes.
to my studio within the same house. However, ideally, I would like to have a dedicated space eventually. I just thought I'll create my
Absolutely.
digital presence first before I have a walk-in kind of studio, which is the end goal.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm working towards that
Right.
vision. It's on my vision board. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think nowadays, with the advancement of digital arts and digital forum, everybody, even offices, are moving out from their, from their what you call brick and mortar style.
That's right.
So everything is actually moving so digital and online and easily accessible. I mean, nowadays you can just share a picture of your work and that's how everything is at the tip of your hand, right? So, but
Yeah.
yeah, for old school people, eventually that will be the, kind of end goal for sure. That's
Yeah.
also a pride, moment of pride.
It is, it is. And since I've done a couple of solo shows and some group shows, I know how fun it is to interact with people live as well. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
totally different kind of experience, but I feel creating my content first is better than investing so much money into brick and mortar, like you said.
Yes, yes. I mean, first, I always believe, and follow it myself, that even at work, right? One of my friend used to always tell me कि काम उतना ही करना है प्रियंका जितने का पैसा मिल रहा है, because that is what she used to tell me, and
Uh,
she was my buddy in Gurgaon, and I used to say that ये करना है वो बोलते काम उतना ही करना है जितना का पैसा मिल रहा है, ठीक है? As in, she used to make fun of me like that. Then I realized it, and you guys are entrepreneurs, and I'm not in that line of thing, but as you rightly said, that we should always manage our finances and do best within our resources that we have, within our own limitations. And the best thing is to create content, and when you can get the same amount of business, and when you can get the same amount of visibility, why to
mhm.
spend on extra things? You will eventually, like every time when you make profits and you save, and you will, but for every small business, it's very important to be sustainable and to run on profit.
Yep.
I think the best time to do this because of social media. You're not confined to, any city or even any country for that matter. So I think it's a great platform and everyone should start building at least, even, earlier people used to think about, like you said, having your own place to do stuff that calls for huge investment. And, when you're just starting out, you don't want to invest that sort of money. So, that would probably deter some people from even starting out. Just the whole fear of that investment and, that fear of visibility. But now I think, if you just have an idea, just start. just just don't think about anything, just start. And this is a
Right.
wonderful platform. And I mean, eventually it's your hard work that will pay off. And I think more than hard work is just relentless. Just be relentless, just be after what you want to do, just don't leave it half.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And be consistent.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Abhnika is a mom, but she's still, kind of putting whatever time she gets, she's doing collaborations, she's sending products, she's managing the inventory, she's sending bulk orders as well. So, no matter what, she's been consistent in whatever she likes and whatever is good for her business. So, that is what.
Fear was getting lost. What happens is we as women, we play so many roles. We are not just a woman. We are so many things to so many people, and so many people's worlds are running because of us. So I just felt that after I had a baby, I didn't want to lose myself. Everyone was focusing on the baby. I am also focusing on the baby. He's my child. But then it's up till a certain point. He's going to have his school, his friends, his activities, and there will be a point where I will be sitting alone at home having nothing to do. That was my biggest fear. I'm giving him my 100%, and I will not leave any stone unturned for whatever he wants to do. I'm there 100% supportive of everything. I will also be present physically because I'm doing everything from home. So he's always in front of me. But, that's just for a transient times. Maybe another 2-3 years since he starts school, it's going to be all about him. And he'll be like, Mama, don't come here. I don't want you to come. And I don't want you to come. So I wanted to, have something of my own. And I think that was a very big reason I did not slip into postpartum depression, because I was constantly planning what I'm going to do after he turned about 6 months, 8 months. I was attending my classes, I was experimenting, I was trying out new stuff. So I think everyone should have one passion, or, just something that makes them really happy and that doesn't feel like work. I think everyone should have just one activity, to drive them on a daily basis.
Right. One thing that you can call your own, and you can hook on to that. And when you're, something, and definitely you should never deprioritize yourself, be it what. Your own happiness always counts, You can, you can maybe not give yourself priority for a certain time, but then it'll come as a regret later. So why regret of something and, start doing things. So I completely agree to that. And the other thing that, as a learning that I was sharing, but we'll also need to do a time check. What time is it already? I'm not able to see it here.
It's 4:20.
Oh, 4:20. Yeah. So I think, we were so engrossed in sharing, and it was more of a meeting friends after long.
It's almost an hour, and I think we can book another session if people would love to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure if people got bored of us already. So, a quick one thing I wanted to, share, that never kind of underestimate your own potential, and never live another person's life in your own shoes. Everybody has their own challenges. Everybody has their own story. So, you can be inspired, but your aspiration should not be somebody else's, and never underestimate what you could do. Like a small thing, when I joined Instagram, I was, obviously with not less than 100 followers, right? And I used to think that people have so many followers, how are they doing? I'll be lost in the deep sea. I'm still lost. But for 2-3 months, I used to, think that, is that really my cup of tea? But then when I started enjoying it, I really thought, and it's a learning to all small nano influencers and anybody who wants to, not only influencers, but any human being, that, these baby drop steps only would help. Take a baby step and never underestimate your own potential, because the world is huge. The moment you start working, the nature will give you opportunity. Just stay positive, and just take baby steps towards your passion.
Someone is supporting you, be your biggest cheerleader. be happy with what you do and just be relentless. I think that's very important, because people have all sorts of things to say, and they might assume for you that you don't have time, and maybe you're doing the wrong thing. But if it's your heart that says you should go for it, you should definitely go for it.
Right. Deepika, over to you. Yes,
I don't have. Yeah. What happened?
So I'm getting a couple of requests for others to join the video as well. Maybe in our next live session, we can keep that 5 to 10 minute slot where other people
Yeah.
can also join. But I need to also check how many people can join. I think not more than 4 are allowed. So we are already
right.
full house today. So definitely
Maybe one
next
person
time for
has-
sure.
Yeah, maybe one person has to step down and we can randomly pick up a
Yes.
viewer
Yes.
or follower.
In our next live, definitely, because I've seen a lot of responses that they want to join the video, but so sorry for this time. Next time for sure we'll plan it out.
So just one last thing.
Yes.
I know this became like an intro session for all of us. I think it'll be great to have a specific topic that we can all address next time. Like
Yes.
I struggle with self-motivation sometimes, and I think it'll be great to know what you guys do to stay motivated
Yes,
and staying
true.
relentless, like you said. I love that word.
That's
Absolutely. I
something
think
which is needed.
right. So we'll definitely that's a very good topic, and that's like that's an endless discussion, and we can definitely pick up few things from everyone, what they do to keep them happy and on the toes and motivated. We'll definitely add it in the next live for sure.
Yeah. Maybe we can plan for a Zoom call where others can
Yes.
also join.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea, but then we will not have our can we do, I'm not sure, we can't do Zoom here,
I think
right?
it'll
I
have to
mean,
be
so
YouTube
we
live or
can't
something.
merge the Insta audience, so
Mhm.
it's very important that we have it here. But anyways, we'll figure out ways, we'll have to find out
Yeah,
more
we'll
options, how we can accommodate more people and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining. We
Thanks.
thought we'll talk for like half an hour, but
But
we
it
met
ended
like
up
friends. Who
we ended
are
up like 1 hour.
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you
Thanks,
all for
Priyanka,
joining.
Deepika.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Parul, Avnika, Deepika.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Parul.
Kavina.
Thank you, Avnika.
Mindful Motherhood. Hi, Fee. Thank you for joining. We have Abhi Bhai also. Shilchan. A lot of people have joined us. So thank you so much. Nikitara.
So,
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for
and thanks,
joining. We are
Steve.
closing
Thanks,
the
Terry. I
live.
see you guys are there as well. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Okay.
Had a lovely
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.